नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा संबुद्धस्सा।
Minglaba, we are going to present facts about Sangvejaniya Thana, the 4 great places worth remembering and visiting. They are the place where the Buddha was born, the place where the Buddha attained his full enlightenment, and the place where the Buddha delivered his first discourse, and the place where the Buddha passed away into Mahaparinibbana. First and foremost, we are going to present facts about the place where the Buddha was born, Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha. Over 2,600 years ago, at the foot of the Himalayan mountain in the northern part of India, there used to be countries known as Devadaha, Kapilavuttu and Kolya, ruled over by kings of Sakyang clan. King Suddhodana married Princess Mahamaya Devi of Devadaha and ruled over Kapilavuttu. Princess Mahamaya Devi, heavy with child, made a stop over in Lumbini South Forest on her trip from Kapilavuttu to Devadaha to see her relatives. It was a time between summer and rainy season. It was there and then that the Prince Siddhartha, the would-be Buddha, was born. He was born on Friday in 623 BC in Lumbini between Kapilavuttu and Devadaha. Lumbini lies in Nepal, 12 miles from the Indian border. In a small brick building on the right side of the entrance to the Lumbini Park, today one can see a stone sculpture of Mahamaya Devi giving birth to Prince Siddhartha. It is a piece of sculpture that breathes life.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Prince Siddhartha, immediately after birth, walked 7 steps on the earth in the direction of north and proclaimed, "I am the greatest in this world." This is a piece of sculpture of Prince Siddhartha proclaiming, "I am the greatest." It is said that it was excavated by Japanese team. In 249 BC, King Asoka paid a Buddhist missionary visit to that Lumbini region where Prince Siddhartha was born. There he erected a memorial pillar marking the birth of Prince Siddhartha. It is known today as a Asoka pillar. The king had recorded and inscribed his visit to Lumbini on that pillar.
Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami.
In the place where lotus flowers appeared as the Buddha walked 7 steps, the king had built 7 small pagodas.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Now you see, this is the pond where Mother Mahamaya Devi, after giving birth to Prince Siddhartha, took a bath. The pond is named Maya Devi Pond after her. During the birth of Prince Siddhartha, 2 streams of water, one cold and the other hot, poured down from the sky on Mahamaya Devi and Prince Siddhartha to wash mother and son clean and give them warmth. Mother Mahamaya Devi passed away on the 7th day after giving birth to Prince Siddhartha. This is Maya Devi Shrine.
Saranam gacchami. Dhammam.
Where one can see the birthplace of the Buddha and his footprints.
Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami.
In the Lumbini Park, one can see what still remains of brick platforms and walls of Asian monasteries. In ancient Lumbini, it is said there used to be monasteries with Buddhist monks residing in them. Lumbini in Nepalese means beautiful park.
Buddham saranam.
Excavation in the Lumbini region was carried out by India's Archaeological Department in AD 1896. That was the presentation of facts about Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha, the place Buddhists revere greatly. Next, we are going to present facts about the place where the Buddha attained his full enlightenment. At the age of 29, Prince Siddhartha renounced the worldly life after catching sight of the 4 great omens, an aged man, an ailing man, a dead man, and a recluse. Thenceforth, he took up the solitary life of a recluse in the forest in search of the truth. On Wednesday, the full moon day of Myanmar month Kasau, in the great year 103, Prince Siddhartha sat under a banyan tree facing towards the east. It was then and there he conquered Maradeva. In the first part of the night, he gained Pope Nivasanyana, power to recall past existences, and at midnight, Devasakunyana, power to see things far and near. In the early hours of the first waning day of the month, he gained Asavakya Jnana, power to get rid of all forms of moral defilement, and thereby became a perfectly enlightened one. Bodha Gaya is where this attainment of full enlightenment occurred. Bodha Gaya lies in Bihar province, India, known in ancient times as Magadha region. This is the Mahabodhi Pagoda in Bodha Gaya, a monument to the Buddha's attainment of full enlightenment. The Mahabodhi Pagoda was built by King Asoka. It has 4 flat sides with small caves in which there are Buddha statues and future Buddha statues.
Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
It measures 45 feet at the base and is 170 feet tall. Inside the pagoda, you can see the Buddha image shining bright with gold, with all the extraordinary characteristics of a great man. This is the banyan tree. It is called Bodhi tree because it was under this tree that the Buddha attained Bodhi Jnana, perception of the Four Noble Truths. Between the Bodhi tree and the Mahabodhi pagoda, there is Aparajita Panlinka, the seat on which the Buddha had sat and which was not conquerable by anyone. The Buddha, after the attainment of full enlightenment, spent a total of 49 days around the Bodhi tree. He spent the first 7 days cross-legged at the foot of the Bodhi tree, absorbed in deep contemplation of Paticcasamuppada, law of dependent origination. He spent the second 7 days on a mound to the northeast of the Bodhi tree, looking at the Bodhi tree with unblinking eyes. That place now has a memorial pagoda known as Animisa Pagoda.
Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
He spent the third 7 days on the northern side of the Bodhi tree, promenading with his mind deep in Palasamapatti absorption. That place has lotus flowers in stone, representing those lotus flowers that had appeared at every step the Buddha took while walking up and down there. He spent the fourth 7 days at Ratanagara, a dwelling built for him by Devas, celestial beings, by their supernormal powers. While dwelling there, the Buddha contemplated what we today call 7 Abhidhamma texts. While he was contemplating Patthana, the last of the texts, his physical body emitted rays in 6 different colors, which radiated all over the whole cosmos. He spent the fifth 7 days under a banyan tree to the east of the Bodhi tree. That was where goatherds used to take a rest. The place has a memorial pillar built by King Asoka. About 300 yards to the south of the Bodhi tree, there is a pond with a tree on its edge. The Buddha spent the 6th 7 days under that tree with Mosalindanaga, king of serpents, attending to his needs. This place has a statue of the Buddha with king of serpents, providing the Buddha with shade and shelter from the rain and the sun by coiling itself and forming its hood over the Buddha. This statue of Myanmar sculptural style was donated by Myanmar devotees. The Buddha spent the last 7 days under a linlun tree to the south of the Bodhi tree, absorbed peacefully in Palasamapatti. The linlun tree that you now see is a present-day addition to the place. It was under the linlun tree that the Buddha resumed taking the first ever meal offered by a human being after the attainment of enlightenment.
Dhammam saranam gacchami sangham saranam gacchami.
This has been a presentation of Bodha Gaya, the highly revered place where the Buddha attained full enlightenment. Next, we are going to present facts about the place where the Buddha delivered his first discourse. After the full enlightenment, the Buddha went from Bodha Gaya to Megadawon forest near Varanasi. It is 129 miles from Bodha Gaya to Megadawon. This is the Chowkhandi Pagoda. It is a monument to a place where the 5 disciples came to see and pay homage to the Buddha. The 5 disciples, or rather the group of 5, as they were called before becoming the Buddha's disciples, had decided not to greet or welcome the Buddha, believing that the Buddha could not have made any headway in his search for the truth. But overwhelmed by the impressive looks of the Buddha, they at last went to him and paid homage to him. This place serves to show how the infinite magnitude of the Buddha's loving kindness could change the contemptuous attitude of people like the group of 5. Megadawon means sanctuary for deer. On the full moon day of the month Wazo, he reached the Megadawon forest. That evening, he delivered his first ever discourse, Dhammasaka Pavattana Sutta, to the 5 disciples. The discourse deals with the 4 noble truths. They are 1. Dukkha Sissa, the truth that suffering is inherent in all forms of existence. 2. Samudaya Sissa, the truth that yearning for the aggregates of existence is the cause of this suffering. 3. Nirodha Sissa, the truth that elimination of his yearning ends suffering and rebirth. And Magga Sissa, the truth that the Noble Eightfold Path leads to the extinction of yearning. At the end of the discourse, Kongtinya, one of the 5 disciples, attained Sotapanna Phala, followed the next day by the remaining 4 disciples, each a day after the other. On the 5th waning day of Wazo, the Buddha delivered another discourse known as Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. And this discourse enabled all the 5 disciples to attain arhatship. Megadawon, where the Buddha delivered the first discourse, lies about 6 miles from Varanasi, India. It is otherwise known as Saranath. Megadawon or Saranath received its name from an incident in which the would-be Buddha, as king of deer, in one of his past existences, offered himself to be butchered as a substitute for a pregnant doe in order to save her life. This is the place where the Buddha delivered his first discourse. It was built in 250 BC by King Asoka. It is called Dhammarajika and is estimated to be as tall as the Dhammika Pagoda that lies to its east, where the Anattalakkana Sutta was delivered by the Buddha. It was mentioned by a Chinese Buddhist monk in his travelogue in the 5th century AD. It fell into ruin in 1794. In the compound of Migadawo, there used to be a monastery within an area measuring more than 200 feet in length between east and west. It was called Mula Ganda Kuti. The Buddha once resided there. The monastery was donated by Nandiya, the rich man. According to a Chinese monk who visited there, it was a magnificent building about 200 feet tall and had 7 stories. To the west of the monastery, there is a small pagoda built of stone. It is said that the Buddha once used that place as a resting place after deep contemplation. This monumental pagoda is said to have been built during the Asoka period. They are bits and pieces of the Asoka pillar, said to be originally about 70 feet high. The Asoka pillar is an important part of India's Maurya Empire. It takes an important part in the history of Buddhism and Asian sculptural works. This is the Dhammika Pagoda in Migadawo. It was there that the Buddha delivered the Anattalakkana Sutta. Anattalakkana Sutta says that neither inside physical and mental phenomena of existence nor outside them is there anything which in the ultimate sense can be regarded as a self-reliant real ego entity or any other abiding substance. The pagoda is 104 feet tall. Floral decorations around the pagoda were sculptured in the shape of swastikas. It is said to be donated by King Asoka. It is the only pagoda in Migadawo that still remains intact to this day. On the right side of the brick pavement inside the Migadawo compound, there is a raised seat for the Buddha under a concrete roof. It is the oldest of archaeological finds by India's archaeological department. It probably belongs to the times of the Buddha or to Asoka time. It was at the site of that seat that the Buddha met Yasa, the son of a rich man, and taught him the Dhamma. It is said that the Myanmar traditional Katina robe offering ceremony originated from that place. Ancient sites of Buddhist monasteries and nunneries are also found in the Migadawo compound. Migadawo is a place where the Buddha spent the first year of his life after the Enlightenment. It was there that the 5 disciples, Yasa, and his 54 friends became arahats. Those 60 arahats were sent by the Buddha to various foreign regions to do Buddhist missionary work. The Buddha came to Migadawo 3 more times and delivered 11 suttas. It is a highly revered place where the Buddha started his teachings. The last but not the least, we are going to present facts about the place where the Buddha passed away into Mahaparinibbana. After 45 years of teaching the Dhamma to all beings who deserve liberation from samsara, the round of rebirth, the Buddha went to Kusinaya. It was then and there the Buddha passed away into Mahaparinibbana, the great demise, in about 543 BC. When he reached to the south park of Mala Princess, he had a place made to lie down in between the two young sal trees. There he lay down with his head to the north. At midnight, the Buddha delivered the teaching to Subhadda, who became an Arhat. Subhadda was thus the last disciple of the Buddha during the Buddha's lifetime. After the midnight, the Buddha delivered the teaching on Appamada, mindfulness, the last of his teachings. At about dawn, the Buddha passed away into Mahaparinibbana. The Buddha Mahaparinibbana statue lies in Uttar Pradesh, India. Before Mahaparinibbana, the great demise, the Buddha had told Venerable Ananda about Samvejaniyatthana, the four places worth remembering and visiting, namely the place where the Buddha was born, the place where the Buddha attained full enlightenment, the place where the Buddha delivered his first discourse, and the place where the Buddha passed away into Mahaparinibbana. In that place of Mahaparinibbana, there is a Buddha statue dating back to about 5th century AD according to the inscription on it. The Buddha statue has the posture of the Buddha lying in Mahaparinibbana. It measures 21 feet long and the base on which it lies measures 23 feet 9 inches into 5 feet 6 inches into 2 feet 1 inch. Near and in front of it are three smaller statues. The statue of physician Jivaka in the position near the head of the Buddha. The statue of Venerable Subhadda in the middle position. And the statue of Venerable Ananda at the foot of the Buddha. Viewed from the foot side of it, the statue presents the look of the Buddha in a state of great suffering. Viewed straight from the front and the middle position, it appears to take on the look of the Buddha, entering into Mahaparinibbana with serene peace and tranquility. Viewed from the head side, it looks as if the Buddha was smiling. The statue is really a lifelike representation of old age, illness, and death. The statue and its base are said to be made of earth. Kusinaya is the place where the Buddha passed away into Mahaparinibbana. The Kusinaya Mahaparinibbana statue has a special style of sculpture known as Kusinaya style, which has the Buddha lying in death in the state of Mahaparinibbana, with his head to the north and face to the west. The event of Mahaparinibbana, the great demise, should serve as a reminder to all of us that Nama and Rupa, all things living and lifeless, have the nature of eventual decay and disintegration, death and dissolution, inevitable natural phenomena. Even the Buddha himself and things associated with his life had had to go through. Viewed in that true light, the 4 places are really worth visiting and contemplating by everyone who wishes to gain merit.